How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to our very first Palworld full set review here on Red Zone Rogue. And what does that even mean if you're new to the channel? What is a full set review? It basically means that we're going to be going through every single card in the very first set of the Palworld card game, card by card, and giving you my opinions on what the cards are. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, hello, I'm Kel. I'm a full-time card game content creator and shoutcaster. I've been playing TCGs for, since 1995. I've shoutcasted multiple world championships across multiple different trading card games, pro tours, and a lot of other stuff. Needless to say, card games are my life, and I'm really excited for Palworld. I think the game is fantastic. I think Palworld itself, I'm just getting into it. I think it's also really, really good and fantastic. So I'm really excited for this. This is going to be a lot of fun. I've recently adopted Palworld as a main game here on the channel. I mainline like six TCGs right now. You can say that I'm a diehard fan of the medium. So, enough yapping. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump into our overlay, and we're going to start talking about every single card in set 1 and both of the starter decks as well. But we're also going to do a starter deck review separate from this when I actually get my starter decks. In case you're curious, I did buy 2 of each starter decks, and I also bought a full case of Palworld for set 1. So expect all that stuff when I get it as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the overlay. All right, and so here we are in the overlay for Palworld. And what's going to be interesting here is this is the official Palworld card game website, and I'm not going to be using this one to do the set review because they just don't have a good setup for these kind of videos. Like, look, it's all small. I can't even like make this like bigger or anything. So we're not going to be using this website. But if you just kind of want to casually look at all the cards and all of the alternate art treatments, yeah, check out use this website. It's pretty nice. Instead, we're going to use a fan-made website called palworldtcg.gg, and that's because, hey, look, this one kind of makes it all big and nice, so it's easy to read and much better for the viewing experience, I think. So, yeah, let's get started. We're going to start with the set, and then we're going to go into the 2 starter decks. There's only 100 cards in the main set, and then 25 cards each in the 2 starter decks. So I think that might include the Soul, so it might just be 24 cards each. But needless to say, there's about 150 cards to talk about, which for a new set release for a TCG, 150 cards for the first set, it's kind of on the smaller side, but also kind of par for course for a lot of Japanese TCGs. So, all right, let's get started. We have Dormantine Ignis Savage Lava Dragon. This is an 8 cost, is a Lucky Pal. Also, I'm going to assume that you know how to play the Palworld card game, at least the basics, so I don't have to explain literally everything. But Lucky Pals, I will mention this. These are very important. These are the cancel mechanic in Palworld, where if you reveal it on a damage check, it will cancel all of the damage. So these are really important cards. They tend to be really big, powerful cards, and you can only run 8 of them in your deck. So keep that in mind. So this is a card that's pretty limited, availability in your deck. So it's an 8 cost. It has a 1700 power. It hits for 4, which is pretty good. So he's a huge dude. And then act once per turn, you can pay 3 or discard 2 cards from your hand, and you stand this card. So he represents, if you get lucky, or if your opponent gets unlucky, I guess, 8 damage, which is really good. I like that it has the alternate cost here. You can either pay 3 or you can discard 2 cards. So that's pretty sweet. And he's also pretty huge and tough to deal with. So this will probably be a pretty nice end game finisher for red decks. I think this is pretty good. This is one that if you're playing red, you'll probably want to play this. And this will probably be a pretty scary card. So yeah, Dormantine Ignis I think is pretty good. Next up we have I should probably talk about the rarities as well, huh? This one is a, let's see. I wonder if it says it anywhere here without having to, like, well, it's a double rare. It says it on the bottom of the card, but it's even, hard for me to read without, like, oh, it says it right here. I'm mega blind. So double rare. Double rare is the highest rarity in this game other than, like, alternate arts. So the highest mechanically unique rarity, I should say. All right, next up, we have Suzaku. This is a double rare. Another Lucky Pal. This is a 7 cost, 1200 attack, or 1200 power. Does 3 damage. It's, once again, Lucky Pal. And it has a continuous effect. Continuous, when your red card would deal damage other than battle damage to a pal, it deals 200 or plus 200 damage instead. So it does an additional 200 damage. And it also literally says strengthens this card's ability too. Because on auto, when you deploy this, basically when you play it, or when it enters the field, because you can deploy stuff from your graveyard as well from other effects we'll talk about. Choose up to one pal and deal it 700 damage. So it'll do 900 damage. This is pretty good. This is not a huge game ender like the Jormuntide, but I think it's still pretty good. It pumps up all of your damage effects and helps you just kind of like maintain board control until the late game. It is a 7-drop, so you know it's more expensive. But keep in mind you get 2 resources per turn in Palworld, so it's different than in a game like Gundam or Magic where you're just dropping like 1 resource a turn outside of like ramp and stuff. So I think it's also pretty good, but once again, it's a lucky pal, so you have to, you know, keep in mind, do you want to run this lucky pal or some other lucky pals? So yeah, so I think it's okay. I think this is more situational than the Jormuntide. I think Jormuntides are quite good. Next up, we have Gobfin Ignis Blazing Hothead. This is just a rare. It's a 4-cost, 400 power pal. Strikes for 2, and then continuous. All your other pals get plus 300. Yeah, this is pretty sweet for just like a aggressive, go wide pal deck. I feel like this one's going to be pretty solid. This is going to be good in a deck that just wants to play a whole bunch of pals, and just pumping up your whole team is pretty good. Specific is only red pals, so maybe you're going to do red, and then your other color will be like more supplementary, but still, I think it's pretty good as well. Next up, we have Bushi Ephemeral Blade. This is a 5-cost lucky pal. Man, the lucky pals will be the big determining factor on like how you build decks, like picking and choosing which lucky pals you use. So Bushi, lucky pal, 800 power, strikes for 2. It's a 5-cost. This one also has this quick effect, which we'll talk about. So this is auto. At the end of the battle, this card attacked, you may return this card to hand. So you can play it and then attack immediately, because once again in Palworld, everything can attack the turn it comes into play. Act, interrupt, from hand at quick speed, you can pay 1 and discard this card, or discard this and another card from your hand to nullify the opponent's attack. Battle damage does not occur. So basically, this is what I've been calling force of pals. It's like a force of will. You discard this card plus another card to counter, to nullify a thing. There's no limit to the number of this effect you can have in your deck, and we'll see this in the starter decks. But there is a limit because this is a lucky pal as well. This one does a lot of stuff. It seems interesting, but I imagine you likely won't run this because it's a lucky pal, and you probably want to run other lucky pals instead of this one. But it is a good effect. It's kind of like a catch-all, but I feel like you don't want this effect on your lucky pals. You want it on other stuff that you can run a lot more of. But it's kind of interesting because you play it, you can attack, maybe do some damage, and then bounce it back to cancel. So it's a cool card. But I just feel like because it's a lucky pal, you might want to run other lucky pals instead. I'm going to say the word lucky pal a lot. Next up, we have Reptyro or Gorger. He's an 8-cost rare, 1500 power, 3 strike. Auto on deploy, you get 3 wood. Now, the wood is just a alternate resource. In Palworld, you have like wood and like what I'm just going to call food. And you just keep track of it on like a little thing. Keep track of your wood, keep track of your food. It's pretty simple. And then some cards will use those resources. It's not like a lot of stuff. It's just like one extra little thing to keep track of. That's like permanent until you use it. Anyway, auto, on deploy you get 3 wood, and then act once per turn. You can consume 3 wood. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 8-cost or less gear from among them and deploy it, and then shuffle the rest of the cards in your deck. Okay, so this is clearly just going to be a card that you use in like a deck that uses a lot of gear. I mean, if you have some gear in here that are 8 costs or less that you really need, you can run this. There's some pretty good gear. There's a lot of gear in the game that just like kills stuff, like the shotguns, basically the guns. I think this is probably pretty good, and he's just kind of big as well. I like him. I think he's pretty good. I mean, obviously, you're not going to run him in a deck that doesn't have a lot of gear, but if you're like in a more mid-rangey style deck, I think he could be pretty good. You probably don't run this in the same deck as this guy, but you might. You might. Next up, we have Fox Sparks Light of Courage. This is an uncommon, 2-cost, only 200 power, 1 strike. Auto, Brave 300, which means on attack, this card gets 300 until the end of the turn. So it basically attacks as a 500, but only for 2, which is really good in Palworld. So this is likely going to be very good at just killing your enemy stuff. In like kind of like the go wide aggro deck, this is probably pretty good. And in mid-range decks is also probably pretty good too, because you can attack into your opponent's things and have more favorable trades in like the early and mid game. I think it's a pretty solid like 2-cost card. This is one that you'll probably consider for red for sure. Next up we have Kitsune, Wormbane Fangs. This is 5-cost, 400 power, strikes for 2. Auto on deploy, choose up to 1 7-cost or greater PAL, and deal it 1200 damage. So this card is interesting because it has low power and kind of a higher cost, but man, it blasts something for 1200, which is pretty good. It'll kill most mid-range type stuff. We've already seen some very big stuff, so obviously it's not going to kill like a Dormantide, but it would kill like a Suzaku. And basically just almost everything else we talked about. Like I said, it won't kill this big guy, the Reptyro, but I think this will be pretty good, especially in like a mid-rangey style deck. Its power itself is pretty low, but it does strike for 2, so I think this is okay. I think this card's okay. Next up we have Sparkit, Hazardous Contact. This is a 3-cost, 400 power, 1-strike PAL. Auto on deploy, choose up to 1 PAL in its stand state, so like not tapped, untapped, the standing PAL, and it takes 500 damage. I like this one a lot, actually. This kills a lot of like early game PALs, and it'll kill your opponent's PALs that aren't like aggressive, that don't want to attack. I think this is pretty good. I'll need to actually play with this one a lot more to kind of see how I really like it and how often I can hit, because you can only hit the standing PALs. But generally speaking, I do like this card, and I do like these like low cost 2-for-1s, which is exactly what this is. So yeah, I think Sparkit's pretty good. Next up we have Univolt, a Valiant Thunderclap. This is a 4-cost, 600 power, 2-strike PAL. 2 strikes at 4 cost is pretty good. This is a pretty statted like unit. Auto Brave 300, so it attacks as a 900. I think this is a pretty good statted unit. It dies to a lot of stuff, but just in general, attacks for 9, strikes for 2. It's not really exciting outside of that, but I think it's generally pretty solid and just kind of like a stats style deck. I think it's probably pretty good in like your go wide red PAL deck, like your aggro red PALs. Here we have Ragnahawk, Emberwing Striker. This is another lucky PAL. This is uncommon, has 1000 attack, 1000 power. I'll get the nomenclature consistent at some point. Strike for 2, cost 6. Auto on attack, choose all of your red PALs, and they all get plus 500 power, and most importantly, an additional strike. This card is really, really good. This is one of your like top end finishers for your go wide aggro red deck. If aggro red is like good, it's because of this card. And it's a lucky PAL, so once again, you have to really make your decisions carefully on what lucky PALs you run. But man, this one's super, super good. I can see like an aggro, almost maybe mono red PAL deck, and you just have this as your top end, and maybe your other one is something like Dormantide to just finish her. After you get to the 8, you can just jam in for double damage, for 8 damage. So yeah, I genuinely think the Ragnahawk is quite good in this like go wide deck. Very, very strong. Man, like if they leave your Ragnahawk alive and you go from turn 6 into 8, because once again you get 2 resources per turn, you can go Ragnahawk, and then if it's still alive, you go Dormantide, and you can just insta kill them. Like you just hit them for 10, like because it's 5 and then 5, unless they get some cancels and whatnot. But still, very strong. I think it's very good. Next up, we have Ruby Brave Sparks. This is a 2-cost, 200 power PAL with 1 strike, auto, Sirius 400. On assign, choose a PAL and it gets 400 until end of turn. So on assign means when you assign this to like a location or something like that. So this is less good in like a big aggro deck, but better maybe like a more mid-rangey deck where you use a lot of locations. We'll talk about the locations as we go. This one's probably okay if you do a lot of location stuff. It does make your dudes bigger for the turn, so you can like assign and then attack. But generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of this mechanic because you need a lot of stuff going on to get it to work. Like you need this, you need a location, and you need another PAL to pump. You need 3 cards for like the Sirius to actually do anything. So, and you want that card, that your extra PAL to even want to attack as well. So if you have like 2 rubies, it's fine. I guess it makes it into a 600 ruby, but there's better things you can be doing. Next up, we have Flambel, Scorching Tears. 3 cost, 400 power, 1 strike. Auto on deploy, you get 2 wood. If you're playing a big wood deck, yeah, this is fine. If you're not playing big wood deck, you don't run this at all. It's just one of those kind of cards. Next up, we have Pyron, Cinder Steed, 6 cost, 1200, 2 strike. This is just a very vanilla card. I imagine you won't be running this a ton in constructed decks, maybe in like limited. Maybe some in like a mid-rangey, but I feel you'll probably be doing better stuff and playing, you know, cards with more effects than this. Next up, we have Blaze Howl, Hellflame Defender. 7 cost, 1200 power, 3 strike. This is one of the cards that you can. This is a Force of Pals card. So once again, you can interrupt hand at quick speed. You can pay 1 and discard this card, or discard this and another card in your hand to nullify an opponent's attack. I should note, by the way, that it says nullify the attack, battle damage will not occur. Their on-attack triggers still happen, and I 100% confirm this with Bushiroad. So it doesn't cancel the on-attack triggers, just cancels the damage. This is good. Yeah, this is good. Like you want a good number of these type of effects in your deck, and time will tell how many exactly you want to run in your deck. But I know you'll definitely want to run like some of them. So I think this is a card you want to pay attention to, and likely a card that you want a full playset of, and just in case you want to jam it into your deck, just because of the cancel effect. And even in late game, it's like a 3-strike POW. That's like nothing. So yeah, this is good. This is a good one. I have to keep closing this and opening it. Is there a better way to do this? Yes, there is. We have, except that it's not. The machine gun's not loading if I open it a separate window. Whatever. We have Mounted Machine Gun. So this is one of the locations, or a structure, I guess it's called. So it's 4 cost. It has 1,000 defense, so this is how much damage it needs to take in a single turn to destroy it. And then it says, act once per turn, consume X wood, assign a POW. Perform, let's see, perform, choose a POW, and deal 500 damage X times. So basically what you do is you assign a POW, and then you eat X wood, and then you deal 500 times the number of wood that you ate. So this is going to be like a good wood payoff, essentially. So if you want to do like a more mid-rangey deck, less like all-in aggro, but more mid-rangey deck where they're using those wood cards, the wood-generating cards, and then some more like POWs that get bonuses from assigning them, sure, this is good for that. And man, this could just wipe the board. If you have a lot of wood, you can actually just literally machine gun down your opponent's pals. So I think this could be a good payoff for that solid deck. This is a rare, by the way. I'll try to open this another tab again, see if yeah, it just doesn't work. That's fine. We'll just keep going back and forth. We have Primitive Furnace. This is a 2-cost structure, 800 health. It says act once per turn, assign a POW. It gets 3 wood, and you draw a card. I think it's really good. Getting wood and drawing a card just from assigning is quite good. It's slow, but it's good. And then act once per turn, consume X wood, reduce the cost of playing your next gear from hand by X until end of turn. It does not become 0 or less from this ability. You see that a lot in Palworld, where it makes it to a minimum of 1. Does not become 0 or less. Yeah, this is probably fine in like a gear deck. Yeah, that's kind of like all I have to say about it. I do like the first effect of like assigning the POW, and then getting 3 wood and drawing a card, and then later you can, you know, cash in the wood. So it's a good wood payoff, but I do like the machine gun more. Next up, we have the Flame Cauldron. Flame Cauldron is very simple. It's just a 2-cost structure, 900 health. Continuous. All of your red POWs get power plus 200. They just do. And then auto, when we deploy a red POW, we get a wood. This is really good. I think this is a good one for that Go Wide POW deck. And it's also likely a really good one for the wood POW deck. So I think this is a pretty good one you'll consider in either of those deck archetypes. And there might be some overlap between them too. That's an uncommon. Pardon me, that was an uncommon. Next up we have the Alarm Bell. 3 cost, 1100 health. Act, once per turn, you can pay 1 and assign a POW. Stand all POWs assigned this turn. Until end of turn, your POWs cannot be assigned and must attack as much as possible. Includes POWs deployed after activating this ability. Okay, this is weird because this is kind of like your aggressive payoff for having a structure deck, because like you want to assign a bunch of your POWs, and then you can like stand them up and then attack. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm very curious to see how this will work. I'm a little bit less positive on this one, but I think it's kind of cool as like a, you know, way that you can assign your pals and still have them be aggressive. I'm less high on this one. All right, now we have some gear. We have Foxbarks' Harness. This is a 3-cost gear. Act, you rest this card, choose a pal, and that pal gets plus 200 until end of turn. If its name is Foxbarks, it gets the skill. It gets this following skill. The template now is a little weird. It gets this following skill until end of turn. Auto on attack, choose up to 1 pal and deal 700 damage. I think it's like solid if you're doing Foxbarks. If you're not doing Foxbarks, I don't think this is great. But if you are running a bunch of Foxbarks in your deck, this pumps it by 200 and lets you shoot a pal for 700 on attack, which is pretty good. I will likely not be running this card. It's too conditional for me. But hey, if you really like Foxbarks, here you go. It's a cool Foxbarks thing. Next up, we have Pump Action Shotgun. This card is very good in my opinion. This is a 7-cost gear. Auto on deploy, choose all of your opponent's pals and deal 1200 damage to all of them. And then you can also rest the card, choose a pal, and it gets plus 200 power until end of turn. You see that a lot, the plus 200 power until end of turn. But yeah, just blasting all of your opponent's stuff for 1200 is really good. It's really good. And let me double check. I think it works as Suzaku, right? If your red card would deal damage other than battle damage to a pal, yeah. So it does. Suzaku does pump the shotgun. So because the shotgun's a red card, right? So Suzaku would pump the shotgun by 200, so it would be 1400 to your opponent's board. I think it's good. This is a really good card. You'll be running this in your like mid-rangey red decks. Maybe not in your all-in aggro decks, but maybe you might still run it there. This is just a rare, but I think it's an extremely good card. Next up we have Makeshift Handgun. 2-cost. Gear, auto, on deploy, choose a pal, and just shoot it for 500 damage. Pretty good, actually. I think removal in this game is pretty solid. Act, you can rest this card, choose a pal, and give it plus 200 power. Yeah, this is pretty good. I don't know, this is a good one. Just shoot a pal for 500. Decent, like, early, mid-game, like, board control, and also you can do a little pumpies. I think it's good. You probably run this in your red decks. Like, it's like an archetype staple. We also have the Stone Pickaxe, 3-cost. Act, rest this card, choose a pal, it gets plus 200 until end of turn, and you get a wood. This one's interesting because it does give you wood, and it does give you like the plus 200 that the guns do, but it doesn't do much else. I don't really like this one all that much. There's other ways to get wood that I think is better, and this is a 3-cost. I'm not too big on the pickaxe. Maybe we'll get better pickaxes in the future. Next up we have Axel's Strategy. Axel's Strategy, this is an event card, 4-cost. Choose one of the following. And I'm pretty sure all of like the, I don't know what these are called in Palworld. I haven't beaten the game yet. Tower leaders, gym leaders. I'm on the scientist guy now. But anyway, I'm like level 50, 56, 50. I'm pretty close to 60. I'm way ahead of where I should be because I take too much time to like explore and catch everything and not focus on the story. Anyway, choose one of the following. Choose a pal, deal it 1500 damage. Pretty good effect for 4 costs. Choose up to X pals, stand them, X equals your number of gears. So that basically gives you like extra attacks, which is really, really strong. Because if you have like 4 gear, you attack with 4 pals, and then you can stand all 4 of them with its effect if you have 4 gear, and then attack again. Very good. Or choose all of your opponent's 5-cost or greater pals, and they cannot block this turn. I think this is really good. I think this is a double rare. This is a slam dunk for red. It has removal in it. It has multiple attacks, so like player removal, and it also has like additional player removal if you want to make them so they can't block. I think Axel is very good. This is a great card. Next up we have Treasure Chest Found. This is a 2-cost event. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You can choose a red structure or red gear from among them and put it in your hand. And then shuffle the rest shuffle the rest of the cards with the deck. If you choose 0 cards, you get 3 wood. So you at least get 3 wood out of this, or you get a red structure or gear. I think this is really good in those decks that care about red structures or gears. Yeah. So if you're playing a deck that cares about them and you really want to get a specific one, it's pretty good. So yeah, if you're playing like the go wide all aggro deck, probably not, but in the structure deck, maybe. Couple copies. All right, let's go to blue. Blue, we have Chillet, Dragon Whisperer. This is a lucky pal. This is a double rare. 5 cost, 900 power, 2 strike. Auto on deploy, reveal the top card of your deck. And if it's a 8 or less dragon pal, and you can see the types right here. This is a like a frost or iced and dragon. You may deploy it. If you did not deploy it, add it to hand. This is cool. This is basically like draw a card, but it's also like if it's a dragon, you just put it into play, which is really good. And once again, everything has haste and can attack immediately in Palworld. I think this is pretty good. Once again, this is a lucky pal. So you have to be careful. The number of lucky pals are very selective with the lucky pals that you put in your deck. But I think in a big dragon synergy deck, this could be pretty good. So you have to pay attention to that. We didn't actually even talk about the dragon synergy cards, but like Jormuntide is a dragon. You could literally put the Jormuntide or Jormuntide into play with this because it's 8 or less. So I think Chillet's pretty good. Next up we have Relaxosaurus, Hungry Gunner. I like this guy. I run a Relaxosaurus Rex in my team currently. Big dumb chungus. I like him a lot. 7 cost, 1200. This is a double rare. Strikes for 3. Auto on deploy. Choose up to 1 6 cost or less pal. You rest it. While this card is in the base, that card does not stand. So, well, what it means is in the base means like in play. That's basically what it means. So while you have this in play, your opponent's dude does not stand, which is pretty good. You basically lock down one thing. And he's kind of a big dude. For a double rare, this is a little less exciting, but it also has a strike for 3. I think this is fine, and I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Next up, we have just actual Jormuntide. This is just a rare. 8 cost is a lucky pal. It has a 1600 power, 3 strike, auto on deploy, you draw a card, choose up to 1 7 cost or less pal, and you rest it. That card does not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. I think this is really good. I mean, it's kind of like the Relaxosaurus, but this one is big, hits hard, you draw a card, and you rest one of your dudes for a turn. I like this one. I like this one as like a top end card for blue. It is a lucky pal though, so you have to factor that in. Also, it's a dragon, so you can get it into play for free off a Chillet, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have Pangolin, Yearning for the Skies, a rare Pangolin. That's a 4 cost, 600 power, 2 strike. Auto, when this card is put into your graveyard, draw a card. I like this guy. I like it a lot. I wish this was like on deploy, you draw the card, but when it dies, you draw a card. That's still pretty good. And if you have ways to like butcher this, which is like the sacrifice mechanic, getting to draw a card is pretty solid. So I do like the Pangolin. I think it'll find home in some decks. Not every deck. You definitely want to make use of this, when it dies trigger, but I think it's all right. Not just that, I think it's good. Next up, we have another lucky pal, the Azure Robe Water Dragon Waltz. I used this pal for a while in my game until I got the Jormuntide. As a 6 cost, 1200 power, 2 strike pal. Once again, lucky pal. On deploy, you draw a card, choose a pal, and you rest it. Do you see this effect a lot? It's like the Jormuntide, except this one only rests it for the turn, doesn't make it so it doesn't awaken on the following turn. This is also okay. This is an okay effect. It's a lucky pal though. You probably not run this one in your deck because you're probably running other lucky pals, but it is, and it's also a dragon, which is cool. I'm so tempted again to just open a new tab. It just doesn't show the art. This website's a little weird. We'll find a good Palworld card game website that'll work for us in future videos. So, and I also just realized I can make that a little bit bigger. Any case, this is Reptyro Christ Glacial Devourer. This is an 8 cost, 1200 power, 3 strike rare pal. Auto on deploy, draw a card. I love all the water pals that like the blue pals that let you draw a card on deploy. Act once per turn. Discard a card from your hand. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 6 cost or less structures from among them, and you deploy them, and then shuffle the rest of the cards in the deck. This is really sweet for a structure-themed deck. You get two 6 cost or less structures. You have to discard a card from your hand, and you can technically whiff, right? It's only looking at the top 5, but I still really like it. And on deploy, you get to draw a card, so it kind of like replaces the discard that you do anyway. I think this is pretty solid for like a structure deck. A deck that runs a lot of structures. Next up, we have Pen King. Pen King, Mighty Warrior of the Deep. 5 cost, 600 power, 2 strike pal. Continuous. All of your main name Pangolin pals gain plus 700. It makes your Pangolins huge. It makes them huge. Notably, he's not a Pangolin, but still, hey, you know what? If you want to make a Pangolin deck, Pangolin aggro, here you go. 700 is big, man. 700 is big. And once again, we'll look at the Pangolins again. He's got 600 base, so it makes all your Pangolins 1300s. At least this version of Pangolin 1300s. I don't know. I think it's cool. I like it. It's probably not that great, but if you want to make a Pangolin deck, there you go. Here we have Thwack, Manic Wave Ripper. This is a 2 cost, 200 power, 1 strike pal. Auto, when this pal is attacked, it gets plus 300 until end of turn. So basically, it kind of defends as like a 500. Generally, I don't really like this all that much. It kind of puts the onus on your opponent to make it bigger. And also, it's like weaker to removal. So like just 200 damage will kill it if they don't attack it first. So I don't really like the Thwack all that much. I don't think it's very good. Next up, we have another lucky pal. We have Wumpo, Frostbeak Sentinel. Dude, I love all these. I genuinely like how ridiculous Palworld is. Look at this big chungus guy. The 7 cost, 1500 power, 3 strike Wumpo. Continuous. If this card is in the rest state, all of your opponent's pals get -1 damage. I like Wumpo. The big problem with this, obviously, is that it is a lucky pal, so that limits the number of you can put in the deck, but the effect is really good. You jam your Wumpo, you smash in, hopefully deal some damage, and then it just shrinks all of your opponent's stuff, like in terms of the damage that they can deal to you, and it forces them to kill it. So I do like the Wumpo. Once again, you'll have to consider it by what lucky pals, but it seems pretty good in like a more controlling style deck. Next up, we have Tiefent, Fountain of Cheer. This is a 2 cost, 200 power, 1 strike pal with Serious. Serious means on a sign you can give a pal plus 400. So this is like for a structure deck. And once again, I already kind of gave you my thoughts on that. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah, maybe you need it. This is Mao Christ, 3 costs, or Harbinger of Riches, 3 costs, 400 power, 1 strike pal. Auto, when this card is assigned to a farming structure, draw a card. Okay, all right. I like this. If you have a farming structure that also draws you a card when you assign a pal, you can draw 2 cards, which is pretty good. So yeah, if you are running a lot of farming structures, I think this will be okay. And it's like got okay stats too. Like I think this is a pretty good card. I think the Mao Christ is good. Next up we have a Celeray, Loop de Loop, 3 cost, 400 power, 1 strike. Auto on attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Yeah, it loots. It's a looter. Looting is good. If you have graveyard synergy cards that let you do stuff from your graveyard, it's even better. I think this card's good. Yeah, like quite good. Once again, especially since you can attack immediately in Palworld. Next up, we have Swift Swimmer, 4 cost, 700, 2 damage pal. Yeah, it's just kind of vanilla pal. Doesn't do much. We're gonna move on. And then finally for the blue pals, we have Cryolinks Arctic Ordeal. This is a 6 cost, 900 power, 2 damage or 2 strike Force a Pal card. Once again, I think the Force a Pal cards are all really good, and you'll likely want to run a good chunk of them in your deck. So put this in if you need the Force a Pal cards. Hopefully you watched when I was talking about the other Force a Pal cards, and you know what I mean by Force a Pal cards. I'm not going to explain it every single time. We have Antique Curtain. This is our first blue structure. So it's a 5 cost, 1400 life. Auto, on deploy, choose up to X of your opponent's pals and return them to hand. Very good. But X equals the number of different card names among your structures with antique in their card names. So basically you need like Antique Mirror, Antique Curtain, Antique Chair. If you have like 3 of them and they all have different names, you can bounce 3 things. This is interesting because it's only on deploy, and it doesn't really have any other effect. So it doesn't, I don't know, this one, there's going to be like an antique, like they're kind of like signposting you to make an antique deck. It could be good, especially with that pal that just gets you 2 6 cost or less structures from the top of your deck, from the top 5. And you can like get a couple like really good effects, but I don't know. This is one I really need to see in play to actually see how good it is. Like, let's talk about the other ones. So here's Antique Dresser. So it's a 4-cost. Act once per turn. So it has 1400 health. Act once per turn. Discard a card from your hand and declare a card name. Choose all of your cards, and they get that declared card name in addition until end of turn. So it's weird. You're gonna make all your stuff be called something. So if for example, if you have a bunch of pals and you have the Pen King on the field, you can have all of your other pals be called Pengulet, and they all get the buff from Pen King. Sure, yeah. And then act once per turn, you can discard X cards from hand, choose X of our pals, and they also get plus 1000 power and an additional strike. Very, very good. I think if you're gonna make that Pengulet deck, you put the Antique Dresser in to pump your Pengulet homies. I was gonna say Pengulet pals, but I kept saying pals way too much. I think it's an interesting card. It's an interesting card. I think it's like not bad. I think it could be like a good role player in those type of decks. Next up we have Hot Springs, 6 cost, 1000 health, structure. Act once per turn, assign a pal. Choose up to 2 of our 6 or less pals, and you rest them. Those cards do not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Or choose up to 2, not R2. Choose up to any 2 6 cost or less pals, and you rest them. This is pretty good. Just basically like slow 2 of your dudes down, or 2 of your opponent's dudes down. Yeah, I think this is good in like a slower controlling style deck. Next up, we have the Antique Mirror. This one is, yeah, if you're playing the Antique deck, you play this. This is just a 1 cost, 1000 health, on deploy, draw a card. It just cycles itself. The only reason you'd want this is if you have a bunch of stuff that cares about all of your antique stuff, and it just kind of, or the number of structures you have, because it just immediately replaces itself. Cards like this are generally like pretty solid, and this will likely be pretty solid in this style of deck. Or even in like other decks too, like I said, that just care about structures. And then for the last structure for blue, we have Sphere Workbench. There's a 2 cost, 900 health. Structure, act once per turn, assign a pal, draw 2 cards, and then you discard 1 card. Draw 2, discard 1 is pretty good at assigning a pal. Where is this one says, it has to be a farming structure to draw. Okay. This is not a farming structure. This is a crafting structure. So you don't get the triple draw off the Mao, but I think this is fine in like a structure style. Even in not a structure style deck, it's still fine. It's a bit slow, but it's not too bad. I think I like the ones that have other effects as well. Like you assign, you draw a card, but you can also like shoot them. I think I like those a little bit more. Next up, we have the Pengulet Rocket Launcher. 4 cost gear. Act, you rest this, choose a pal, it gets plus 200 until end of turn. If its name is Pengulet, instead, it gets 500, and also the ability, act, rest this card, choose all of our opponent's pals, and they get they take X damage, where X is that card's power. Put this card into the graveyard. So basically, you sack your Pengulets, like you turn them into rockets. So it'll get 200, or it'll get 500 additional power, and then blast all of our opponent's pals. Once again, Pengulet deck, man. Make the Pengulet deck. You know what? I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make a Pengulet deck. Yep, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make a I don't know if it's gonna be good, but it seems hilarious. Pengulet deck. We're running Pengulet. We're running Pen King. We're running the Mirror. We're running the rocket launcher. It's gonna be a good time. Next up, we have the Grappling Gun. 5 cost gear. Act. You rest this. Choose a pal. Gets plus 200. And then it also gains the ability Vigilance, which means at the end of your turn, you stand it. So it's kind of like Vigilance in Magic. You just restand it at end of turn. Pretty good. Makes it so it's more difficult to attack. And yeah, this is fine. It's a 5 cost though. I don't know how good. Like maybe in a big gear deck, but I'm not really sold on this one either. 5 cost is a lot just to restand your guy. Next up, we have Victor's Strategy. I think all of the, like I said, I think all these cards are really good. The tower leader guys, faction leader ones. So this is another double rare. 3 cost, choose one of the following. Look at the top 5 cards of our deck, and we choose a card from among them, add it to our hand, shuffle the rest on the bottom of the deck, which is fine. It's like a nice little like card selection draw thing. Choose a pal, return to the hand, also pretty good. Or draw X cards, where X is the number of our structures. So this is really solid, right? Obviously, if you don't have any structures, just looking at the top 3 or looking at the top 5 and picking the best card is okay. But if you have, you know, a couple structures at all. Drawing 2, drawing 3, very good. Once again, I think this is going to be good in those all structure decks, and also like bouncing an opponent's PAL is okay. It's less good in Palworld than it is in other TCGs because once again, all PALs can attack immediately, but it's still like solid. I think this is solid. This is a card. The most exciting part of this is like drawing like 4 cards off of it. It could be really good. Next up, we have the PAL Sphere. Hey, speaking of drawing cards, this is just a 4-cost draw 3 cards. It's actually like not bad, especially when you compare it to the strategy that we just saw. Like in order to draw 3 cards from that one, we would need 3 locations in play. But it's only a 3 cost. I think this is fine. Like we've seen this kind of effect in other games before. In Magic, this is a Harmonize or Concentration, and they're okay in that, you know, that game. But I think Palworld's a pretty aggressive game, and I'm not sure if this card will be good. You might like die, basically is what I'm trying to say. Is you might play this and just die because it doesn't really affect the board or anything. I think in like a big controlling deck or a super hyper aggro deck where you just barf out all your hand and then you just play this to fill up your hand again. I think it could be good in either of those. So we'll see. And like a controlling deck that just spends all your cards killing all of your opponent's stuff turn after turn, and this will just help you reload. So we'll see. We'll see how things work, but I think it's okay, generally speaking. And the last blue card we have is Aurora Guide. This is a 2-cost event. Quick, you draw a card and then choose up to 1 card in your hand and put it on the top of your deck, which is interesting for any of the cards that care about playing stuff from the top of your deck. So like for example, like let's go to Chill It. I think the best example is Chill It, right? So the Aurora card, you draw a card and you put a card from your hand on top of your deck. And then you play Chill It, which says you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a 8 or less dragon, you just deploy it. So what you do is pretty obvious. You know, I kind of lined it up. You draw a card, you put a big dragon on top of your deck, and then you play Chill It, and you get the dragon for free. That seems good to me. Like it seems good to me. So yeah, I think it's really good. I think the Aurora Guide is a solid card. Like absolutely, and it's quick speed. Once again, it's quick speed. So you can also do this on your opponent's turn as well if you want to leave your soul up to do other stuff. So I like it. Next up, we have the green. We have green. I was kind of looking at the RRSSP kind of like breakdown here. So this is the Lylene, Blessing of the Goddess. This is a 7-cost Lucky Pal, 900 power, 3 strike. On deploy, you get 3 food. Once again, this is the other resource I was talking about. You have wood and food is what I've seen so far. Act, once per turn, consume 3 food. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 6 cost or less PAL from among them, and you deploy it and shuffle the rest of the cards into the deck. This is really good in a deck where you get a lot of food. It's a good food payoff, and it just lets you slam PALs like turn after turn. I think this is really solid. Once again, it's a lucky PAL, so you have to keep that in mind, but I think this is a good one. I think this is quite good. I mean, it's a high rarity card, so that makes sense, but I think Lylene's good. You know what I realized like we can do here? I can just do this, so I don't have to keep scrolling super far down. So we'll just look at the green cards, and then we'll look at the purple, and then the couple colorless cards. All right, so next card we have Dig Toy Seismic Drillback. This is another double rare. This is a 6-cost Lucky Pal, 900 power, 2 strike. Continuous, if you have 10 or more souls, this card gets 1,000 power and an additional strike. So if you have max souls, which is pretty easy to get to in Palworld because you get 2 a turn, is a 1,900 3 strike. Huge. Not the most strike. 4 is the most we've seen, but 1,900 is massive. And then act, once per turn, you consume 2 food. Until the end of turn, this card gets an additional 500, and the skill, Auto Breakthrough. When the opposing combat PAL is put into the graveyard during this card's attack, the opposing player is dealt the damage. So it just like trample, it like deals the damage straight through to your opponent, which is really good. So I don't know. I think it's good. He's only a 6 cross. Like you can get this off of your, oh my god, I'm gonna have to change the thing every time. You can get it off of your Lylene. Next up we have Patalia Sweet Blessings. This is a 6-cost 700 power 2 strike PAL. Auto on deploy, you gain a life, choose 2 souls, and you stand them. This seems really sweet. It's a decently bodied PAL that more or less costs 4. You need to have 6 to do it, but then you'll get 2 back, and you also gain a life, which is important because you only start at like 10 in Palworld, but you can gain more. So yeah, I think this is solid. I think it's a solid card. Yeah, get the 2 souls back, play some other stuff. Yeah, I think Batalia's pretty solid in a green deck. Next up, we have the Rushor. 2 cost, 200 power, 1 strike. Auto, when this card attacks a structure, it gets plus 800. So it's a good structure basher. It's a rare, hits structures for 1,000. This to me is just like a sideboard card. This is a card that you don't play unless your opponent's playing a big structure deck. That's just kind of how it is. Against most other decks, it's going to be understated and not have, you know, much going on. But it's cool that that kind of effect exists if structures become a big thing. Next up, we have another Lucky Pal, Eliza B, Queen of the Flower Garden. 5 cost, 700 power, 2 strike. Continuous, this card gets an additional 300 power for each of our main named B-Guard pals, which makes a lot of sense. You always see a ton of the B-Guards around the Eliza B. On act, you can consume a food, or consume a food. Look at the top card of your deck, and if that card is B-Guard, you may play it and reduce its cost by 2. So you don't get it for free, but still, it does not become 0 or less. So at the minimum, it'll cost 1. Yeah, I mean, this is just a big dude who gets you bees. So if you're running a lot of the bees and you want a big dude, yeah. Other than that, I don't know about this one because it is a Lucky Pal, so it'll take up one of those slots. Yeah, I'm less high on the Eliza B, but hey, maybe like the Pengulet, maybe there's a B deck, but I think I'm a little bit higher on the Pengulet deck. Next up, we have Warsect Iron Fortress. This is a rare, 8 cost, 1500 power, 3 strike, and it just has Taunt. So Taunt is a keyword we haven't seen yet, that we've mostly seen in green, and it just says, your opponent cannot attack other targets if a card with Taunt can be targeted for an attack. So basically, the way it works is these need to be like rested. So basically, you play the Warsect and then you attack, and then since it's rested, your opponent has to attack it. Which also means that all of those blue effects that rest your opponent's things are not ways to get around Taunt. They actually enable Taunt. Standing them would get around the Taunt, but then they can just block if they wanted to. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. Taunt is like kind of like an anti rest tech, because you know resting a normal pal makes it so it can't block, but a Taunt one makes it so it has to be blocked. I don't know, it's interesting. It's just a big blocker. I'm unsure if this is good. 1500, like there's a lot of ways to just kill things at 1500. And it's an 8-drop, so I'm gonna say probably not, but who knows? Maybe just Big Chungus is good. That's big Beetle Chungus. Next up, we have Veilet, Bewitching Blossom, 8 cost, 1600 power, even bigger. This one has 3 strike, and then act once per turn. You discard a card from your hand. If you assigned this card this turn, stand this card. So this is a card where you can like assign it and then stand it, and then get like an attack or something. Or you can assign it and stand it, or you can only do it once per turn. So I was gonna say you can assign it multiple times. You can't. You can only do it once per turn. Yeah, if you have a lot of stuff that you want to assign, sure, here you go. But it is a Lucky Pal, so you have to keep that in mind, factor that into inclusion. Anytime I see that, I'm like, you got to be really choosy. Next up, we have Life Monk, Promising Newbie. 3 cost, 500 power, 1 damage. I think this is okay. This is decently statted. 3 cost, 500 power, 1 strike. Yeah, it's just like a big kind of a big dude. You'll run it if you need like something to fill in the early game. Next up, we have the Demud, Mellow Bounty. 4 cost, 400 power, 2 strike. Auto on deploy, you get 2 food. And then when this card is assigned to a farming structure, increase your soul by 1 card in the rest state. It ramps you by 1. I think this guy's really good, but you need to be running the farming structures. But man, this gives you the food and it ramps you. I think the Mud is pretty solid, and you probably want to put it in the same deck as the Lily here, the Lylene. You probably want to put it in the same deck as Lylene. I think it seems pretty good. Next up, we have I love this doofy guy too, Gummoss. You have Gummoss, Curious Sprout, 4 cost, 600 power, 2 strike, auto on deploy. This card gets 300, and the skill until end of turn gains Assault, which means it can attack pals in the stand state. Yo, the Gummoss is like an aggressive. This is an aggressive out for blood Gummas. Look at that cute face. This is the face of death. So basically, this is at 4 costs, is a 600 power, just can attack one of your opponent's dudes. I think this is like pretty solid. This is a pretty solid removal in green. So yeah, I'll probably be playing this in a few different green decks. I like the Gummas. Next up we have Dig Twice, Keen Needleback. 5 cost, 800 power, 2 strike, act once per turn, consume 2 food, and this card gets 500 power and the skill Breakthrough, so kind of like Trample. So you make this into a 1300 power Breakthrough for a 5 cost. This is pretty good. This is a decent payoff for food. I think this is good. You put this in your food deck. You put this in the same deck as the Lylene and the other like food generators that I talked about, like the Mud. We have Tansy next, Cheerful Worker, little grass monkey. We have it's a 2 cost, 200 power, 1 strike with Serious. So it's the one that you assign. If you assign it, then you can pump another pal. Once again, I think these are they're like whatever. I'm not very big on like the Serious keyword. Maybe it's really good and I just don't know. Here we have our B-Guard, Knight of the Flower Garden. This one's interesting because you may put any number of cards with the same card name as this in your deck. So you can play any number of B-Guards in your deck. It is a 3 cost, 400 power, 1 strike. And then on deploy you get a food. If you have a farming structure, this gains 500 until end of turn. So, I mean, yeah, you can do the B deck, right? You can do the B deck. You can put the B-Guard, you can put the Queen Bee, whose name I forgot, and just go like B-Town, and you put your farming structures. Maybe this could be a thing. I'm not super sold on it, but hey, you know what? If the B deck is really good, let me know. It could be. I'm not sold on the Eliza B being kind of like a payoff. It's just like a big thing, and I don't know. It could be killed pretty easy. I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. Next up, we have Wumpo Botan. This is the Grass Wumpo. This is our Force of Pals. This is our green Force of Pals. It's a 7 cost, 1200, 3 strike, Force of Pal effect. Put it in your deck because you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. All right, so that's all of our green pals. Let's go for structures. We have Breeding Farm. This is a farming structure. It's important to note the farming ones because we have a lot of stuff that cares about farming structures. 3 cost, 1100 health. Act once per turn, consume 2 food, reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand if it's an 8 cost or less pal, otherwise put it into the graveyard. Interesting. And then act once per turn, consume 2 food, assign 2 pals, choose an 8 or less pal from hand, and you deploy it. I do like this card. It requires a lot from you. It lets you cheat stuff into play, but you need 2 pals, and you need a bunch of food. But I also like the other effect, right? They just consume 2 food and reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's an 8 or less pal, you just deploy, or you add it to hand. I don't know. Maybe. This is a maybe. The fact that you can deploy, that you can assign 2 pals to it, means you can get 2 of those on assign to, to a farming structure effect. Perhaps. Next up, we have Cola Vending Machine. 6 cost, 1500 health. Act once per turn, consume X food. Assign a pal. Choose a soul and stand it, then choose up to 3 times the number of souls and stand them. So this is just a big ramp card, but it costs 6 to play. So in order to ramp, you need to already play 6 and then play this. But if you have a lot of food, then you can just get a lot of your soul. Like basically, what I mean by ramp is like you can pay all your souls and then use this to set them back as active and then pay them again. I don't know, this feels like a combo card to me. I'm not aware of any, immediate broken combos from set 1, but there might be. There might be some broken combos that people have tested already. But this feels to me like a combo card. It does seem good, but the question is, like, does it have an immediate home? I don't know. If you're not doing the combo, you're not running it, basically. I don't think it's that good to not do that. You need the food, and you need, the ability to be able to, like, make use of it. Next we have Feed Box. This is just a structure. This is a 2 cost, 900 health, act once per turn, consume a food, increase your soul by 1 in the rest state. If there are 10 or more souls before increasing, choose 2 souls and stand them. Feed Box is good. Now this is ramp. It's just a 2 cost, You eat your food and you get more souls. This is really good. I think this will be, people will be trying this in like a dedicated like ramp deck. I think Feedbox is good. Next up we have Ranch. Yeah, obviously this is farming. It's a 2-cost, 800 health. Act once per turn. Assign a pal. Get either 3 food or 3 wood, and draw a card. Yeah, that's good. I mean, if you are a deck that cares about generating food or wood, you put this in your deck. Period. Yeah, I think it's a slam dunk for those decks in particular. You'll likely want a few copies, like a full playset actually. Next up, we have the No Pals Beyond sign. This is a 5-cost, 1100 health structure. It says, act once per turn, assign a pal. The pal assigned to this card gets the skill until end of the opponent's turn, a continuous taunt. So basically you can give one of your pals taunt, and the fact that you have to rest to assign means that it already makes it so your opponent has to attack it because of how taunt works. Yeah, this is cool. I think this is good. Giving them taunt is pretty good. It's less good in Palworld than in a game like Gundam because anything can block in this game, just like Magic. Taunt just means your opponent has to attack it first. But I think this is solid. And maybe like a big ramp deck, you put out some huge thing, and then you just make it so you can't take damage because your opponent has to attack your giant pal. Yeah, I think it's also pretty solid. Once again, likely in like a big ramp deck. Next up, for green, we have Dig Twice's Headband 3-cost gear. Act, rest this card, choose a pal, it gets plus 200 until end of turn. If its name is Dig Twice, you get either 2 food and 2 wood, or 2 wood. Yeah, this is fine. You don't put it in your deck unless you're running a bunch of Dig Twice. That's my evaluation of that card. Next up, we have a Farming Hat. This is a 3-cost hat. There's a gear. Act, you rest it, choose a pal, gets plus 200 until end of turn, and you get a food. Yeah, this is fine. I'm not super big on these ones that just like 200 and then a food or a wood. I feel like you have better uses for like slots in your deck. It just doesn't seem as impactful as I would like in like a fully constructed competitive deck. Next up, we have Lily's strategy. Once again, big fan of all the strategies. This is a 3-cost, double rare. Choose one of the following. Choose one of her pals, and they get a plus 1,000 until end of turn. Great. This is not a quick speed card though, so keep that in mind. Or choose a structure or gear and put it into the graveyard, so just blow up one of your opponent's structures or gears. Or increase your soul by 1 in the rest state. This is really good. So you either ramp, you big pump, or kind of like a, non-pal removal. Yeah, this is a staple in green in my opinion. You need these in green. There are likely some builds where you don't run it, but I would probably put that in almost all my green decks. Next up, we have Found an Egg. This Cativa is super happy, man. It's a 2-cost event. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can choose a pal from among them and add it to your hand. Shuffle the rest of the cards in the deck. If you choose 0 cards, you get 3 ingredient. It seems pretty good, actually. Yeah, you just get a pal from the top of your deck. I like this card a lot. I like it more than the one where you search for gear and structures. But I mean, like, those are fine as well. But I just like getting the pals a little bit more. You're going to be running a lot more pals in your deck on average. So I think this card's great. And then we also have Blessings of the Flower Spirit. This is a 3-cost event. Gain a life and draw a card. Yeah, seems good. Solid. I dig it. I dig it. All right, next up we have purple, and I have edited a little thing out because as I started talking about the purple cards, I realized I got something very important wrong, and we'll talk about that as we go. So let's talk about purple. First up we have the Hell Zephyr. This is actually one of my favorite pals in the game, if not my favorite pal. I used this for so long in the video game. This is one of my first flying mounts. I really like the Hell Zephyr. I used it for quite a while. So it's a 7-cost lucky pal. It has 700 power and 3 strike. And it's continuous, nocturnal, which is a keyword kind of like you see in a lot of these purple pals, which means if it's night, this card gets plus 300. And we have other pals that make it night and other effects that make it night. Auto, when your nocturnal pal is deployed, if it's night, choose up to 1 pal with cost less than or equal to that, and put it in the graveyard. If you put 1 or more pals this way, if you put 1 or more pals this way, at the end of turn, rest this card. So essentially what this does is, whenever you play a pal that's nocturnal, if it's night, you can kill one of your opponent's pals if it has cost less than or equal to that card, which is great. If you do this, you have to rest this at the end of turn, which you will probably just attack with it anyway. So Yeah, it's pretty solid. I like this. This is one of the good key cards for like this nocturnal themed deck. Helps you just get a lot of value into like the mid game. Your opponent really needs to kill this thing because you can get a lot of value out of this. It's pretty solid. Next up, by the way, I figured out a good way to go back without resetting the whole thing. I just click back on the click back on the browser. Next up, we have Shadowbeak, Seed of Despair. This is an 8-cost Lucky Pal with 1300 power and 3 strike. This one says continuous. While this card is in the rest state, it is night, which is pretty sweet. Most of the cards that make it night until the next turn. So we have a couple ways to just permanently make it night, which are pretty solid. This one just technically permanently makes it night, but we also have some equipment that'll basically, or gear that'll basically just do that as well. Also, if it's night, your pal's auto effects activate twice, which is insane. I think Shadowbeak is a slam dunk awesome card. This card's so good. Auto, at the end of your turn, once again, this will activate twice if it's night. At the end of your turn, choose one of our pals and you butcher it, which means you basically like sacrifice it. You put it into the graveyard. If you butchered one or more cards this way, your opponent chooses one of their pals and puts it into the graveyard. You do that twice, which is super good. This is a card that you can get a lot of value out of. This will definitely be one of my chase cards of the set. I do plan on playing a lot of purple. Purple, by the way, is like my favorite color in Palworld, with the exception of red. Like purple and red are my favorite colors. So yeah, these are both really solid. So next up we have Katris, Abyssal Sorcerer, another Lucky Pal. There's a 6-cost, 900 power, 2-strike Lucky Pal, and it says act once per turn, butcher one other pal. This card gets plus 1,000 and an additional strike until end of turn. Really, really good. So like you want to butcher pals and you can get additional strike. So this will be like a 1900 power 3 damager. And then auto, when your pal is butchered, choose up to 1 cost X normal pal from our graveyard, and you deploy it in the rest state where X is equal to the cost of the butchered pal minus 1. So it says normal pal. So what a normal pal is it's a pal that's not like a lucky pal. So like let's go take a look at just any random one. So like this Gobfin says normal pal right here. So basically, yeah, just looking for anything that says the word normal pal there. That's kind of what we want to look at for that, which is really good. This means we can get back just any like not lucky pal or any normal pal. So this is great. I think this card's really, really good and will likely be a card that you kind of like center a deck around. I like it. Next up we have Tombat, Out of Nowhere. I like Tombat as well. It's a 5-cost, 600 power, 2-strike pal. Auto on deploy, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 pal from among them and add it to your hand and put the rest in the graveyard. Yeah, this is great. This is really good for like graveyard strategy decks. Really good with the Katris that we just saw. Obviously, you want to run a lot of pals for this to work. You don't want to whiff, but you're going to be running a lot of pals anyway. I think the Tombat is pretty solid. Next up, we have Pyron Noct, Steed of Azure Flames. This is the purple Force of Pals card, but it also has Nocturnal, so it'll help you with all the Nocturnal things that care about Nocturnal, like the Hell Zephyr. I think this is good. You'll put this in your deck no matter what because you really want the Force of Pals effect, which is just a crazy good effect. Next up, we have the Lylene Noct, Providence of the Goddess. This is an 8-cost, 1700 power, huge pal with 3 strike. Act, rest this card, discard a card from your hand, choose one 6-cost or less pal from your graveyard, and you deploy it in the rest state. Really strong. So this is another card that you want to put in your like graveyard synergy pal deck as like a way to reanimate. You can use this immediately. I think you can actually get back the card that you discard because you pay the effect first, or maybe you need to choose targets before you pay the effect. I'm unsure of that. Judge, I need a judge. I'm unsure if you can actually get the card back that you discarded, but either way, I think it's really good either way. I'll need to confirm that with the judge. With this card specifically, I don't think there's any like rulings or anything. Next up we have Depresso, everyone's favorite. This is a 2-cost, 100 power, 1-strike pal, and he has multiple instances of Nocturnal. So if it's night, he gets a plus 600. Yes, multiple instances do stack, and we have other cards that can give Nocturnal to our pals. And so if we give Depresso Nocturnal again, then it would get 900 power at night. I think he's fine. I think he's just fine. We have a couple cards like this. We have Daydream, which is just, it's like the same thing. It's a 2-cost, 200 power Nocturnal. Sure, if we want more Nocturnal stuff. We have some Daydream synergy stuff that we'll talk about later, but yeah, these are fine. Next up we have Lavander, Heartstealer. This is a 5-cost, 800 power, 2-strike pal. Auto on attack, you can discard a card from your hand. If you do, you gain a life. Gaining a life, like I said, in Palworld is really good. And discarding cards is okay. I'm not sure, because like discarding cards means you can like reanimate them later with other effects. But I'm not super sold on this one. It's a 5-cost. Maybe if you want to gain life, but there's better ways to gain life in black that we'll see in the starter deck. So this one's I'm pretty mid on. I just did the thing where, there we go. I need to figure out this website even better. So we have Daydream, Deep Slumber. So the second Daydream, and it's basically the same as the other Daydream, it's just a little bit bigger. This is a 3-cost, 400 power, 1-strike Daydream, Nocturnal. Sure. Once again, if you need the Nocturnal stuff, you run it. It's fairly unexciting. Next up we have Vanworm, Marauder of the Skies, a 4-cost, 600 power, 2-strike, pal, auto on deploy. Choose up to 1 pal and it gets minus 300 power until end of turn. But this is true for all of the effects in Palworld. If a pal has 0 power, it doesn't die. So keep that in mind. So this one, I don't really like this one. I don't really like this one all that much. I think there's better things to be doing with our cards. I like the Vanworm. I think he's cool, but I don't like that card in particular. Next up we have the Menacing, Darkness Dwelling Scorpion. I think this card's pretty cool. It's a 5-cost Lucky Pal, so it is a Lucky Pal. 700 power, 2-strike. Auto, Retaliate, which means when this card is put in the graveyard during battle, put the opposing combat pal into the graveyard as well, which is pretty sweet. And then also auto, when this card is put into the graveyard, just add all, choose up to 1 normal pal from your graveyard and return it to your hand. So just any pal that's not like a Lucky Pal or whatever. Dude, that's super good. Yeah, I like this card quite a bit. It gives you so much value, man. If it dies in combat, you kill your opponent's thing, and you get one of your normal pals back. Very good. I like it. I like it a lot. But once again, it's a Lucky Pal, so limits what you can put in the deck. Next up, we have Maraith, Twilight Messenger. It's a 6-cost, 900 power, 2-strike pal. Continuous, when this card is in the rest state, it's night. Once again, one of our night enablers. And then continuous, if it's night, all of your opponent's pals just get a flat minus 200 power. Pretty cool. And like, this is a card that you'll consider putting into your night-themed deck. It's a 6-cost, so it's kind of expensive, but yeah, you'll maybe consider it. We have some other effects that are good too. Next, we have Nox, the Silent One. It's just a vanilla pal. It's just a 3-cost, 500 power, 1-strike pal. It's super cute. That's all it is, though. I like it. I like it because it's cute. I don't think it's very good. I will probably not be playing it in my decks. Next up, we have the Loop Moon, or the Lou Moon. Glinting Moonlight, 4-cost, 500 power, 2-strike pal. Auto on deploy. If it's night, choose a 6 or less pal in the stand state, and you put it in the graveyard. So if your opponent is like holding pals back to block, this will be one that you can deploy just to kill stuff. It does need to be night, but obviously you're putting this in a deck that cares about night. And in that deck, I think it's a solid. I think it's a solid. I like any of the 2-for-1s. So this one's pretty. This one's pretty good. The fact that it hits any, like, it's like cost restrictive and not like power restrictive means it hits a lot of the cards in the game. Any 6 or less is like pretty solid. Next up we have Lamp. I like Lamp. This is a 4-cost structure, 1300 health. And a lot of the purple structures do this. So once per turn, act, we put the top 3 cards of our deck in our graveyard, and then it becomes night until the end of the opponent's next turn. So we can keep doing this turn after turn just to kind of make it permanently night. And then also continuously, all of our pals gain Nocturnal. So this is another way to get additional pump. So this is essentially gives all of our pals plus 300 as long as we make it night. So put it in your night deck. I think it's pretty solid in that. It's a good way to keep night active. Shoddy Bed, same thing. It's a 2-cost, 700 health structure. It has the same effect of you can put the top 3 cards of your deck in your graveyard, and then it becomes night until your opponent's next turn. And then auto, at the end of your turn, if you have a Nocturnal pal in the rest state, you get a draw card. Also pretty solid. Depending on if you need the power or not, I might like this one more than the Lamp, because this one's costs less and also draws you card. It just draws you 1 card, though. Like, it's not for each Nocturnal pal you have, it's just if you have a Nocturnal pal. But still, drawing a card is pretty good. Next up, we have the Medieval Workbench. I think this card's really sweet. It's a 4-cost, 1300 health structure. It says act once per turn. You can pay 3 and assign a pal. Choose one cost X or less pal from your graveyard, and you deploy it in the rest state. X equals the cost of the assigned pal plus 2. Really good. This is a great way to like reanimate some of your pals. I like this card like quite a bit. I think I'm going to be playing at least a couple copies of these in like a purple reanimator style deck. I like this one. It's good. Next up we have the Wooden Wall. Interesting one. This is a 3-cost, 300 health structure with taunt, and then when it dies you get a draw card. So it's a structure that protects you, and then when it dies you get a draw card. I don't really have a home for this yet, but maybe in like a big structure deck, maybe you're playing like purple blue structures, and this is one of the ones you can get. Yeah, that's an interesting one though. And then we also have Viewing Cage. This is a 3-cost, 1300 health structure. Act once per turn, assign a pal, exile the assigned pal, choose one cost X or less pal, and exile it. So you exile one of your dudes, and you can exile one of your opponent's dudes, or you can exile another one of your dudes, but you probably want to exile one of your opponent's dudes. X equals the cost of the assigned pal plus 2. And then auto, when this card leaves the base, return all pals exiled by this card to the owner's hand. So it basically kind of like puts them aside for a little while. And what I would do when playing is I just put them underneath the physical card, put them underneath the Viewing Cage. This is an interesting card. It's a 3-cost card, and it basically lets you 1-for-1 your pals with your opponent's stuff. So I can see this being okay in like an aggressive or in like a more controlling style deck. I'm unsure how good this one is. I would likely want to test it, but I feel it's probably not good enough, but it might actually be. I mean, it has a decent amount of health. And then we are on to the gear. So we have Meat Cleaver. Meat Cleaver is just a 2-cost gear. You can act, rest it, and butcher one of your pals. And then reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose one card from among them, and you put it in your hand, and put the remaining cards in the graveyard. It's important to know that you have to reveal them. You don't just look at them, so you have to show your opponent what you get, but that's still kind of cool. Sack a pal, kind of draw a card, fill your graveyard a little bit. I think it's interesting in like a graveyard-themed deck. Especially if we get more pals that have like when they die effects. We also have Daydream's Necklace. This is a great way to actually activate Night. So this is 3-cost, auto, on deploy. You can choose one of your Daydream cards in your hand, and you just deploy it for free, which is pretty sweet. And then act, rest this card, choose a pal, it gets plus 200 until end of turn. But more importantly, it also just becomes Night until the end of our opponent's next turn. So basically, with one of these, we can make it permanently Night, because we just keep doing this every single turn, and it just keeps becoming Night every turn. So this is a great way, like a great low-cost way to just keep making it Night that doesn't also just mill us out like some of the structures do. I think this is really good. I think this is a card that you probably put into that Night deck. And it also means you'll probably want to play some Daydreams with it to get some value, but the Daydreams aren't super exciting, but you might still want to do that. Next up we have Best Girl Zoe, Zoe's Strategy. This one's an interesting one. I like Zoe a lot, and purple is my favorite color, but this one's a little more conditional than some of the other strategies. So this is a 3-cost event. Choose one of the following. Choose up to 5 of your opponent's wood or food, and then they lose them, which is wood and or food. So you can choose a combination of that, and then they lose them. So that's kind of a funny, like, hateful effect, like denying your opponent of their lumber or their apples. Or choose a pal from your graveyard and return it to your hand. Your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. This is great. You basically get a card back from your graveyard, and your opponent has to discard a card. It does a nice 2-for-1 effect. Or choose one of your pals and you butcher it. If you butchered one or more cards this way, choose one of your opponent's pals and put it in the graveyard. This is really good because it doesn't have any restriction on what you kill from your opponent. As long as you just kill one of your dudes, you can just kill one of your opponent's things, which is really, really powerful. So I think Zoe's strategy is good. It's just a little more conditional in that you need a pal in play to kill something, or you need a pal in graveyard to do this effect, or your opponent needs to be doing food or wood and it needs to matter. But overall, I think it's still very, very good. In the situations where this is good, it's extremely good. I obviously need a full playset of this card. Zoe's great. I think the card's good. Hey, speaking of good cards, we have Dark Cannon. It's a 3-cost quick event. Choose one 5-cost or less pal and put it in the graveyard. Hey, put this in all of your purple decks. This is amazing. This is a really good card. It's a conditional removal, but it's fast. It's quick speed, and it just kills anything that's 5 or less, 5 cost or less. This is a staple, purple staple. Next up, we have the Black Marketeer. It's a 5-cost event. Choose up to 2 pals without interrupt in our graveyard. So basically, the non-Force of Pals cards, and then return them to our hand. And then it also becomes night until the end of the opponent's turn. This is kind of a cool card. It's kind of like a draw 2, make it night. Yeah, it's interesting. This is one that I would also consider running a couple copies of in the make it night style deck. I think it's pretty solid. And the rest of these cards here are from the starter deck, and we will deal with that when we get to the starter deck. Finally, we have purple, and we actually don't. I mean, finally we have colorless. Moving on from purple, we only have 3 colorless cards to talk about from the set, and then we'll go into the starter deck stuff. So we have Elphadran, Gentle Radiance. This is a 4-cost, 600 power, 2-strike pal. It says auto. On attack, you can reveal a card from your hand. If you reveal a Dragon Pal this way, this gets 500 until end of turn. Sure, I mean, you basically put this in like your Dragon... This is also a Dragon Pal. You put this in like your Dragon-themed Pal deck. Like, yeah. Other than that, you're probably not running this guy. But it's cute. I like the Elphadran. Next up, we have Dire Howl, Proud Fang. This is a 3-cost, just 500 power normal Pal. It's just a vanilla card. If you need more vanilla cards, yeah, here you go. There you go. There's a vanilla card for you. And then finally, for the set, we have the Adventure Begins. I think it's an interesting card. This is a 2-cost event. If you have not played any other cards during this game, draw 2 cards. So, if this is your first card that you play in the game, you get to draw 2 cards. If you have, otherwise, if you have 3 or more pals with My First in their card names, choose all of our pals, and they gain plus 1,000 power and 5 strike until end of turn. This is insane. So we're going to talk about the starter deck cards, but all of the My First cards are in the starter decks, and this is a way, if you have 3 or more of them, you pump your whole team by 1,000, and more importantly, 5 strike. It's crazy. So this is like a big combo card. People are definitely going to make My First Pal combo decks. Just trying to get the My First Pals down and then play this and just try to OTK your opponent. We'll see how things work, but I think this card's really, really interesting and really cool. It's just an uncommon, but it's very, very cool. This may be a meta-defining card, or it will be a meme. It's one of those two. There's like there's no in between. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the starter decks. So we'll just go starter deck, and we'll just go through it. Card by card, not by color. So we're gonna start off with Grizzbolt, Rumbling Tank. All the rarities on these they're all just TD rarities. They're the starter deck cards, right? So this is a 7-cost Lucky Pal, 1600 attack, 4 strike, which is really, really big. Like I said, we've only seen a couple 4-strike cards, like the Jormungand Ignis. So this has Assault, which means this card can attack pals in the stand state. He's interesting. He's likely not good enough for constructed play, but he's just a big dude. Just a big dude that deals a lot of damage and can kill your opponent's stuff. And he's also Lucky Pal, which is exactly why you will not be running him in your what do you call it? Your constructed decks. So that's Grizzbolt. Next we have Jolthog. Dude, I love Jolthog. He's so cute. It's just a vanilla card. It's just a 2-cost, 300 power, 1 strike, but he's very cute. I like him. We also have the Kelpsy Ignis, Balmy Magma, another just vanilla card, 3-cost, 500 power, 1 strike. I mean, any of these cards that are like the red ones, you can consider running them in like your red go wide deck, but there's not much to talk about. They're just kind of like vanilla cards. We also have Foxbarks, a Toasty Hug. It's a 4-cost. This is one of the Force of Pals cards. You're gonna put this in your deck probably. This is good. You'll be running a lot of these. Yeah, low-cost Force of Pal card. Next up, we have Arsoc's Burning Spoils. This is just a 800 power, 2-strike, on deploy, get 2 wood. If you really need more wood generation, you can run this guy. But generally speaking, you might have some more exciting things to put in your deck. Next up, we have Mossanda Lux, Vanguard Captain. This is a 6-cost, 1100 power, 2-strike pal. You can consume 2 wood, and he gains an additional 500 power until end of turn. You can do that multiple times. It's not once per turn. But yeah, if you just need like a big guy, there you go. Once again, I don't think this will be very good in constructed, but in like the starter decks, he's okay. He's just a big dude. Next up, we have the Blazamut. It's like Bahamut. Blazamut. I'm gonna like Blazamut. Molten Sovereign. This is an 8-cost Lucky Pal, 1600 power, 3 strike. Auto on deploy, choose up to 1 pal and deal 1,000 damage. I think this is really solid. Like, you play this, you kill something, and then you smash in for 3 damage. It is a Lucky Pal, so that is kind of the limiting factor here. But I think other than that, it's pretty good. This is likely going to be one of your earlier just go-to big damage cards until you can get like your Ignis, like your Jormungand Ignis. All right, let's talk about some of the other cards here. We got Stone Pit. There's a 1-cost 600 health structure that just says you can assign a pal and get 3 material, and get 3 wood, and draw a card. Sure, this is just a way that you can get wood and draw cards. So actually not too bad in that style of deck. We also have the Weapon Workbench. I like this one quite a bit, actually. This is a 3-cost 1100 health, and it says act. Once per turn, you consume a wood and assign a pal, choose up to 1 pal, and deal it 800 damage. Then all of your pals get an additional strike for the turn. I think this card is really, really good. This is one of the best cards from this structure deck, in my opinion. It's a payoff for your wood, but man, shooting one of your opponent's things for 800 and then just pumping all of your squad by additional 1 like damage is super good. So I think this is great in like the go wide deck if you're running some sort of wood generation. We also have Single Shot Rifle. I think is also very good. So this is a 4-cost on deploy, choose a pal, deal it 1500 damage, and then you can rest it to give a pal 200. Yeah, it's pretty solid removal. It's kind of slow. It's only a 4-cost, but 1500 kills most things in this game. So yeah, I do like the Single Shot Rifle quite a bit. I'll be seeing if this is good enough in constructed. I think it will likely be, at least for the first set. And then we also have Ignis Breath. I think this card's also extremely good. This is a 2-cost quick. Choose a pal, deal 500 damage. Yeah, this is great early game removal, and also the way damage works in Palworld, it's like Magic, right? So you can block with like a 500 pal. Like say your opponent is attacking you with like a 1,000 power pal, and you block with like a 500 power pal. Then you can use Ignis Breath to like finish it off. So I think it's pretty solid. I think you'll be running this in your red decks. All right, so the blue side, we have Elfadran Aqua, Gentle Ripples. There's a 6-cost 900 power pal with 2 strike. Auto on deploy, you draw 2 cards and then you discard a card. Well, not really. So you draw 2 and put 1 on top of your deck, which is interesting because once again, we do have some cards that care about doing things from the top of your deck. So this kind of synergizes with that, but it is a 6-cost, but it is also a dragon. So it kind of synergizes with the Chillet from the main set. So I like this card. I can see this seeing play here and there. Next up, we have the Chili Jolthog Christ. Yeah, this is just the blue version. It's just vanilla guy. He's still really cute though. I like Jolthog. Hey yo, Pangolets! We got more Pangolets! So you can run 8 Pangolets in your Pangolit deck. Here's just a vanilla. Here's a vanilla Pangolit. Next up we have Hangyu Christ. 4-cost 600 power, 2 strike. On deploy, choose a 3 or less pal and you rest it. I think this is fine. It's an early game way to kind of deal with your opponent's like low-level pals. I'm not sure if it's constructed playable, but I think it's okay. I think it's an okay card. Next up, we have Raindrix, Icy Gaze. This is your blue Force of Pals for this deck. You get both of them in this deck, and I think you run this in your deck. Once again, you'll have to figure out what the exact number of Force of Pals that you want in your deck. But you're definitely going to be running some number of these, and this is an okay consideration because it's a 600 power and still has a 2 strike, so it's not too bad. Then we also have the Suzaku Aqua, Way of the Current. It's a 7-cost 1200 power 3 strike pal that also just has Vigilance, but it is a Lucky Pal, which means you're probably not going to run this in constructed. You probably have better Lucky Pals to run, but it's kind of cool. Maybe in like a Well, it's a starter deck card. I was going to say in limited, but it's a starter deck card. In starter deck gameplay, it's fine, but probably not in like competitive constructed. And then we also have another Lucky Pal. This is Mammoris Christ, Roar of the Tundra. This is an 8-cost, 1700 power, 3-strike PAL. Continuous, this gets additional plus 200 for each of our structures, so this could be massive. And then also act, discard a structure from your hand, and it gets additional damage. I think this card is legit. I think in like the blue structure deck, that maybe you want to do a bunch of antiques and stuff, you're just antiquing. Oh my god, I'm gonna call that deck antiquing. But yeah, this could be huge. This could be absolutely huge. Like all of those structures that you play in this draw card, the mirror, right? The antique mirror. Dude, I think this card is so good. And then you can discard them to get more damage. And also this act, discard a card, is not a once per turn. So what you can do is you can just discard a whole bunch of structures, make this deal like, 8 damage and just smash in. Obviously there's ways to cancel the damage and cancel the attack. So that's a risky play, but it's something you could do and something that you should note at least. I think the Mammoris is like pretty good for that style deck. All right, we have Antique Wooden Chair. So speaking of antiques, 2 costs, 1200. This is a sturdy chair. Auto, on deploy, choose a PAL, gets 1000 power until end of turn. This is fine. It's fine. I don't think this is that great, but well, 1000 power is pretty good. Yeah, this is okay if you want to like get into combat and kill some of your opponent's PALs. That's basically what this is for, because it's just until end of your turn, not until end of like the next turn, so you can't really put this on like a dude to block with. So it's like specifically if you want to use this to trade into your opponent's PALs. I think it's okay. Next up we have Primitive Workbench. 3 costs, act, once per turn, assign a PAL, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a 6 cost or less structure or gear, you can deploy it. So once again, any of the cards that like let you put stuff on the top of the deck, you can get value out of that. If you do not deploy it, add it to hand. So you still get a draw card. This is fine. It's like a, assign a PAL, draw a card, or maybe get a free thing from the top. I think in a deck built around this, it can be really good. But generally speaking, and like just generally not good enough. But it's probably okay in like the structure deck. We also run Single Shot Sphere Launcher. So this is a 3-cost gear, auto on deploy draw card, which is great, and then it just has the pump a PAL by plus 200. Sure, it's just a gear that draws you a card when it enters, which might be good enough for like some of the gear decks, and also just kind of gives you a plus 200. It's a really unexciting effect, but the fact that it replaces itself means it could see some play. We also have Crystal Breath. So this is a quick event. Choose a PAL, it gets -3 damage until end of turn. That card does not stand during your opponent's next stand phase. I think this is actually quite good. It's a pretty nice combat trick. It blanks your opponent's attack for the most part. Most PALs are doing 3 or less, right? And then also it just doesn't stand up, so it blanks it for the next turn. I think this is quite good, actually. I like the Crystal Breath. This will be one that I'll be putting in a lot of blue decks. And then we have the final 2 cards. We have the Lamball My First PAL, which synergizes directly with that OTK crazy card. And this is just super simple. It's just a 2-cost, 200 PAL, continuous. It cannot be attacked by cost 4 or greater PALs. It's generally not very good, but in that combo deck where you put the whole like My First combo deck, it might be quite good. And then we also have the Ribbony Little Princess. This is just a 2-cost, and then when it's put in the graveyard, you get a wood. Sure, it's fine. It's fine. I probably won't be running this in much. The on-death effect is like not good enough for me to care all that much about using it in a deck that wants to butcher stuff, and then also like it's just not as impactful as I would like. And it's probably just not that great in any just wood deck, so it's fine. But yeah, the Lamball, bro, the Lamball is gonna be a house. And then we have one final thing to talk about. We have the green-purple pre-constructed deck. So we have Mossanda, Guard Captain, 5-cost, 900 power, 2-strike. It's a vanilla. You're probably not going to run this. Probably not going to run this one. We have another Gamos, Dreamy Seedling. It's just a 2-cost, 300 power, 1-strike, also vanilla. He's very cute. Probably not gonna run this. There's vanilla cards for like the starter deck, right? We have Floppy Snack Lover. Hey, me too. This is a 3-cost, 400, 1-strike. On deploy, you get 2 food. This is actually not bad because you get it on deploy. So in like a big food deck, you might consider running this one. We also have Dinosum, Radiant Fragrance. This is another Force of Pals card. This is a 4-cost Force of Pals card that has 400 power and 2 strike. Yeah, if you need more Force of Pals cards, here you go. Probably one that you will consider running. if you're doing green. We also have the Eikthyrdr Terra, the Guardian of Nature. This is a one that has Taunt. This is an interesting one. It's a 6-cost, 800 power, 2-strike that has Taunt, and you can also act and eat 2 food and give this 500 power until end of turn. But that's not a once per turn, so you can actually eat like a bunch of food and make this super huge and like attack in and like kill something or deal 2 damage to your opponent. And then it has Taunt, which means your opponent has to attack it. I think this is okay. This was an okay card, specifically if you're going to be running a lot of like food generating stuff. We also have Broncherry, Brimming Adoration. This is one of the Lucky Pals. 7 cost, 1500 power, 3 strike, and then it has Taunt. You're probably not going to be running this in Constructed. There's better Lucky Pals to run. We also have another Lucky Pal, Mammorest Roar of the Wild. This is huge, one of the biggest pals we've seen. 8 cost, 2000 power, 4 strike, and when it's put in the graveyard, you get 3 food. Unfortunately, it's a Lucky Pal. You might still run it in some, maybe some big ramp decks where you really want like just like a 2000 power beater. But man, I feel like there's way better Lucky Pals. Like you want the effects from the other Lucky Pals more. But maybe, like this is definitely a maybe. He's so big that you might just consider running it. All right, now we have a Berry Plantation. It's just a 1-cost harvesting. By the way, it's not farming, it's harvesting. Act. Once per turn, you assign a pal, you get 3 food, and you draw a card. Sure, if you want food generation, you got it. We also have Campfire. This is Kindling. So this is a 3-cost, act once per turn, you consume 2 food and assign a pal, you gain a life, and then all your pals get plus 1000 power until end of turn. I think it's really solid, actually. Gaining a life is just really good, and also just pumping all your dudes by 1000, also really good. So I think this is an okay payoff for like a food deck. Maybe not like a 4 of, but like you might consider running Campfire. We also have Refined Metal Spear, 6 cost. Act, you rest it when your pal gets 900 power until end of turn. So this is much bigger than your standard just like 300 power. Yeah, I mean like in a combat themed deck where all your removal is just like attacking with your pals. I think this is like could be good, but man, 6 cost is a lot. But you know, maybe also in a gear deck that, you know, synergizes with this, it could be better than I think. I think it's like mid, but it could be better. We also have Stone Blast. This is our combat trick of the first set. This is a 2-cost, quick, choose a pal that gets plus 500 power until end of turn. Yeah, this is actually pretty good, I think. You can surprise your opponent in combat, kind of catch them off guard, pump up your smaller pals. I think this is actually pretty good. I think all of the quick cards from the trial decks are really good, or from the starter decks. Bushiroad calls them trial decks, but they're starter decks. All right, now we have purple. We have Astagon, Aegis Wyvern of Death. I actually just recently caught an Astagon. I'm using it in my team in Palworld. It's an 8-cost Lucky Pal, 1200 power, 3 strike, auto, on deploy, choose up to 1 pal, and it gets minus 1000 power until end of turn, but it's not put in the graveyard if its power becomes 0. However, auto, on attack, choose all pals with 300 or less power, and then you put them into the graveyard, but it also affects your pals too. I think this guy's really good. Like, you can get a nice 2-for-1 and maybe even more, like a board wipe. I think this is very, very good. This is a purple, this is a Lucky Pal, but this is one that I would definitely consider running. I think this is one of the better starter deck cards. We also have Hookrates, Embodiment of Wisdom. It is a vanilla dude, but I like the name Hookrates. And it says, I think, therefore I am. We also have Lee's Punk, Treasure Bandit, 3-cost, 200 power, 1 strike. Auto, when this card is put into the graveyard, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. This is a cool card to butcher, actually. I actually really like this in like a constructed purple deck that has all those butcher effects, because you can play this, attack, maybe do a little bit of damage, and then play a butcher effect, and then your opponent has to discard a card, and you get whatever the effect is for the butcher. I actually like this card a lot. I'll probably be playing this in some constructed butcher decks. Next up we have Cognito, 4-cost, 300 power, 2 strike, with stealth, which is a kind of a mechanic we haven't seen yet. It just means it cannot be blocked. It's interesting. I don't know. I think it's okay. I think not being able to not be blocked is interesting. It can still be canceled, right? But not being able to be blocked could be good. It's very small though, so you know, there's a little hit and miss. I probably won't be running this in my purple decks, but maybe. Next up we have Incineram, Lurking Stalker. This is just a 5-cost, 900 power, 2 strike guy. you're probably not going to be running this. Just another vanilla, and it's kind of a high-cost vanilla. Next up, we have Blaze Howl Noct, Dark Flame Defender. This is one of the Force of Pals. 6 cost, 900 power, 2 strike. It's like 1 less cost, but you get the Force of Pals effect from the Incineram. So you're going to be running this over the Incineram in like every scenario, more or less. And then we also have Felbat Lifestealer. I really like this card. This is a 7 cost, it's a Lucky Pal. 7 costs Stealth, so it can't be blocked. It's 1000 power and 3 strike, and on attack, you get a gain of life. I think this is really solid. The biggest downside of this card is it's a Lucky Pal card. If this wasn't Lucky Pal, I think it would be a slam dunk in most purple decks for set 1. But because it's a Lucky Pal, you really have to pick and choose which Lucky Pals you go. And purple has some really good Lucky Pals, like with the Shadow Beak and the Hell Zephyr. So we'll see, but I do like this card. Like a 1000 power, 3 damage, unblockable dude that also gains you life. It just seems really strong. And then we have the Hanging Trap. This is an interesting one. This is a 2 cost, 900 health structure. You assign a pal. If there are no pals exiled by this card in the exile zone, you choose a pal and you exile it. Auto, when this card leaves the base, deploy the pal exiled by this card into the owner's base in the rested state. So basically what you do is you play this and you can assign one of your pals to this and you just kill one of your opponent's guys for a little while, right? Then they have to remove the Hanging Trap if they want to get it back. Also noted, your pal does not have to stay at the Hanging Trap. On your next turn, you know, when you refresh, untap, stand, or whatever, your opponent's guy is still exiled until they kill this. So I think this is pretty solid. At least initial removal. The fact that it hits anything, I think, is actually like pretty solid. I think this card's good. Next up, we have the Cognito Hat. I'm not sure about this one's interesting. It's a 4 cost. Act, you choose one of your pals. It gets plus 200 power, and also it gains stealth against unblockable. This is interesting. It's either going to be really bad and do nothing, or be like the card that wins you the game. I feel like this is one of the cards that is really good against like a control deck that wants to block a lot, and against like the mono red go wide pals deck, you're gonna die with this in your hand. So I don't know. Maybe it's a sideboard card. Maybe you have a very specific pal that you want to get through, but I don't know. This one, like I said, it's either gonna win you the game or do nothing. Next up, we have Strike from Darkness. This is the best removal in the game. It's just a 4 cost. Choose a pal, put it in the graveyard. Period. You put this in all your purple decks. This is like literally the best removal in the game. It's a 4 cost, but it just kills anything. It's very good. Next we have Medical Supplies. 7 cost. Event. Choose an 8 cost or less pal in your graveyard and you deploy it in the rest state. Hey, this is a reanimate and it gets almost anything back. It gets an 8 cost or less back. I'm probably going to be running a couple copies of these in my like reanimator style deck. I think this is good. It's expensive, but it's good. And then the final 2 cards we have are the other My First Pals. So we have the Cativa, My First Pal. It's just a 2 cost, 200 power, 1 strike, and it can't be attacked by pals with cost 3 or less. And then we also have the Chicopee, My First Pal. 2 cost, 200 power, 1 strike. Auto, when this card is put in the graveyard, you gain a food. And so we have 3 of the My First Pals cards. We have the Lamball, Cativa, and the Chicopee. So you can run a full play set of all of these in conjunction with the Lamball here. I guess I can just do it this way so you can see all of them. Ribbunny, not My First Pal. Little Princess, doesn't count. But yeah, these 3, and then the adventure begins, and we're calling it My First Combo. So this is the My First Combo deck. We'll see how good it is. Probably not, but I think it's kind of cool. So anyway, that was our extremely long Palworld set review. Let's go back to me here in the studio. Yo, it's me again. Thank you all so much for watching. I will try to make future set reviews shorter than this, hopefully like a half hour shorter. My Gundam set reviews are usually about like an hour and a half, hour 20. We'll try to, go for that in the future. But since this was the first one, I kind of went in depth on a lot of the stuff. And since we don't really know what a meta game looks like for Palworld quite yet, there's a lot of just kind of guesswork. So it's just a little bit longer than normal. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. For the one person who watched here to the end, let me know what your favorite card is from the set. I'm not sure what my favorite card is. probably Shadowbeak. I really like Shadowbeak. Shadowbeak's so cool. Just being able to get double effects on all the autos is just so good. It's just so good. And cool. I love it when you get to do like additional triggers and doubling stuff. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you for being here and supporting the Palworld content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe hype the video if you can. And we got a lot more Palworld in the pipelines. I bought a full case of set 1. We'll be opening it on the channel, and we'll also have some starter deck openings and reviews. And then after that, we'll be doing news, deck techs, maybe even some gameplay if I can convince some content creator friends to play Palworld with me. So we'll see what happens. I appreciate you for being here. We'll see you next time.